Hi everyone, it's time for Monday Musings, and I wanted to make a Mother's Day card with you today, and I'm using the postage stamp die, the picture wheel die, the sewing edge die. I'm using Graphic 45 Ladies Diary paper. I'm using some pop-ups. I'm using Tim Holtz's rub-ons instead of those. I'm using, let's see, Distress inks, and I'm using some Distress paint, and of course some adhesive. Okay, so I want to share with you, I'm going to build the front of the card with you, but I want to share with you the middle of the card. I made a little vignette right here and put that on, but I used the picture wheel die here, and I've got a little brad on it, but I'm going to take this off because I want to show you what I did. Okay, I did I cut the picture wheel twice, and then I also cut a circle of some packaging, some clear packaging. Let me find it here. There it is. A circle of some clear packaging to go in between those two picture wheels. And then I adhered them all together, and I poked a hole in the middle. I used the rub-ons from this. Let's see, I used Life Artist from this one, which is, let me pull this down so I can tell you which one it is. This is the Words Remnant Rub. And then I used from another one, I used this Dressmaker's icon right there from the one that's called Elements. Okay, and I just rubbed those straight onto the picture wheel. Then what I did was I took part of one of the pages in the Ladies Diary. Has all these postage stamps right here, so I cut all of those apart and I put them on, let's see, I have 8. I have 8 of them instead of putting it on all 12, and I put this on with pop dots. I cut them apart and put them on with pop dots and just adhered them to that plastic disc. That's the reason for the plastic disc in between, so I could have something to adhere these pictures to. Then I cut out some more pictures from my scraps in the Ladies Diary set, and then I just kind of glued them down here so that when I put my picture wheel in there on a brad, then I can move it and different pictures will show through on the windows that I left uncovered. Okay, and I had a tiny little brad here, but then I found, since this is a sewing seam, then I found some button brads, but I want a pink one, so I'm going to take my Victorian Velvet Tim Holtz paint and shake it up. I'm going to dab it on here. You can also do this with alcohol ink, but I want this to be opaque, and alcohol ink is not opaque. So I'm using the Tim Holtz paint, and it will cover metal. It will work on metal just fine. So now I have that color that I wanted, and I'm going to just hit it with a little blast of heat real quick. And then be careful not to burn your fingers. As a matter of fact, I need to get my tweezers. There we go. Don't get it too close, you don't want it to bubble. But once you get that paint dry, then it's permanent. Okay, so now I'm going to use this brad instead. See, that's much better. Much more with the theme. and then I'm going to put it out here on the back, and then you can take some tissue tape and tape over that if you'd like. Okay, so there's my inside. Now let's do the outside, and I'm going to put it this way to help. Okay, so first of all, I want to do some inking. So I'm going to start with antique linen, and let me get my antique linen foam on there. I'm going to ink up my dabber, and I'm just going to ink all the way around the edges of my card with antique linen, and because I want kind of an aged look. First I'm going to do my edges. I'm going to do front and back. Then I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to start off of my card and circle and get these edges really well, or the boundaries of the front and back really well. Now this is a very light, subtle ink color, and that's on purpose because the Lady's Diary papers from Graphic 45 are actually pretty dainty and delicate and elegant. Insert whatever adjective you want there. Now I probably should have done this to the edges before I adhered it, and I could have done it here as well. So, and then I'm going to do my inside edges here. Okay, I got them. Okay, so that's it for antique linen. Now I'm going to switch my foams, and I'm going to switch over to Tattered Rose. And I'm going to just add that a little bit of that pink into my antique linen. Let's go around, do it on the outside. It's very, very subtle. If it's not showing up for you as well as you'd like for it to, then you can go to Victorian Velvet instead. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my pieces. This is my postage stamp die cut piece of paper from Lady's Diary, and this is my sewing edge, and you can see that I used the same, just one 8x8 piece of paper, and I'm using it this way. You could use it this way if you prefer, but I liked this way best. So now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go back to the antique linen, and I'm going to put some ink around the edges of these pieces. Oh, I'm so sorry. The camera is moving. Okay, so I'm just going to go ink around these edges. Again, if you'd like it to be a little more pronounced, you can go with a little bit darker ink. Tea dye would be a good one. Vintage Photo would be a good one. Okay, so I've got that one. And now I'm going to go around this edge of my postage stamp shaped rectangle. Okay. Now instead of Tattered Rose, I'm going to switch to Victorian Velvet. Because there's a lot going on here and I feel that we need the darker ink. So I'm going to ink up my foam and go around here and put that pink edge on there, and that pink and brown just looks really nice together. It's a really nice patina. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same just on the edge of this, just to bring the pink in there so that you have your colors relating to each other. Okay, done with that. Now I'm going to also come around the outside and put a little Victorian Velvet around my edges outside. Really keeping it very close to the edge. Just a hint. Kind of like a frame. Okay. Okay, so now I want to adhere this to the front of my card. And I'm going to put it just about like that. Not quite centered. Almost, just a little bit extra right here. And then I'm going to adhere this to the bottom. Here. Okay, now I'm going to take my lady, there she is, that I cut out, fuzzy cut out, and even with her hands and everything, and I'm going to pop her up. Oh, but before I do that, let's go ahead and give her a shot of Victorian Velvet ink around her edges. Careful of the hand. And let's also put the antique linen on as well. And I'm going to bring that antique linen a little farther in to age this entire piece. Okay. Now I'm going to put pop dots on her. Hardest part's always pulling the rest of the backing off the pop dot, getting a grip. Okay, now I'm going to stick her just a little down inside there. It's one reason why I didn't put any glue up here. But I want her to come all the way to the top, like that. Okay, there we go. Now you can embellish some more. I was playing with some buttons, and this is a bobbin, but I don't think it would hurt to put buttons there anyway. We can put some twine around the thread, and then you can just put some buttons here and there to embellish. Okay, so that's my Mother's Day card, and I hope you enjoyed it.